the macro and microeconomic factors, you say you list the strong Canadian economy and the many initiatives of the present government focused on the economy and jobs, and we're doing much better in the United States. You say, can governments actually influence these macro factors? And the fact, you know, it's demonstrated by the initiatives taken by the government of looking beyond Canada-US trade, that now we're negotiating trade agreements with India and other countries, more trade agreements under the present government than previous governments for, well, I don't want to exaggerate and say decades, but for a long time, which is focused on the U.S. But would you like to comment on some of the initiatives that the present government has taken and how effective those initiatives may be in addressing this issue? You know, harmonization, for example, the perimeter initiative with the United States, regulatory harmonization, and as well as Senator Angus said earlier, insofar as harmonization of legislation among provinces. It doesn't all fall at the federal government, you know, on their shoulders. Other governments have a role here as well. I'd like to get your comments there as well. But you know, the present government has taken very strong initiatives on the macro factors. There's no question about that.
Yes, I would say that we still haven't done enough. Let's look at the growth in trade between Canada and, let's say, US and Europe, which has been fairly flat compared to growth with Asian countries that are growing at double-digit levels. And we have not capitalized on that, and we have not done enough to expand that trade with Asian countries, because the more we can do that, the more that brings products into Canada that compete with those higher priced American goods. So this is enhancing the competitive nature of the Canadian environment. I teach courses in Hong Kong and Shanghai, and it's just amazing to see the economic growth there. They have these trade shows where, you know, 20,000 people show up. I can't remember the last time we had a trade show here where 20,000 people showed up. The excitement of the economic environment. And we're just not capitalizing on it, other than some exceptions there like Manulife and RIM and a couple of others like that have. But what we haven't done enough with is joining Asian trade organizations like the East Asia Summit and the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We don't do enough ongoing trade missions to countries like China to establish those relationships, rather than jumping in and out, but doing those trade missions on an ongoing basis. So we need to do more there. So there's several things like that that we need to expand upon, and I'm hoping that's one more recommendation. Even though your mission here is much more U.S. focused, it's all tied together in terms of these factors having an impact on the competitive marketplace in Canada.